Hello there guys and welcome to Sunday's live stream for the last bits of action for IFMC here at Imola. I'm JWF1 and we're going to kick things off with race 2 for IFMC GP3. And if you didn't see what happened in yesterday's race, it was quite a very exciting race. Initially we thought Robert Kubica would go on to win the race, but he seemed to drop back. In the end it was Daniil Kvyat in the Pennzoil Grand Prix car that won the race. Taking his second victory of the season, leaving questions to suspect whether he is actually a late-minute title contender. He won the race, followed by Jack Aitken in the Willows racing car, and Ferdinand Habsburg, who rounds off the podium. The gap between him and Josef Newgarden now down to 5 points. Newgarden getting the fastest lap bonus point, but he had issues during the race, which only left him down in 18th place yesterday. So the championship's starting to close up again in the GP3 Championship. Well, as you know, the grid is reversed and it would have seen Robert Kubica on pole position, but because of a penalty for Sébastien Buemi, which dropped him down to 13th, it now leaves Buemi's teammate Nick Heidfeld to take pole position for the race 2 today. So it'll be very interesting to see whether Heidfeld can get his second victory of the season or whether Kubica will get his first and try and make up for what happened yesterday. It'll be very interesting to see. We've got 12 laps of action here for race 2, so I think before we start then, let's mute this, turn this up a little, and let's have a look at the grid for race 2 here at Imola. Here we go then. So on pole position is Nick Heidfeld with Robert Kubica in second. Jenson lines up in third with Lucas de Grassi in fourth. Felipe Nasr lines up in fifth with Ferdinand Habsburg in sixth. Jack Aitken starts in seventh with yesterday's winner Dino Ferrari in eighth. Ninth on the grid is fellow compatriot Michael Elation. Alongside him is Nico Kari in a Buemi racing car. Antonio Bear starts 11th with Antonio Felipe in 12th position. 13th thanks to his penalisation is Sébastien Buemi. That's 14th for Aero Vinio. 15th on the grid is Will Power after his problems. 16th goes to Santino Ferrucci. 17th for Kyle Kaiser. 18th after his disastrous race is Josef Newgarden. 19th on the grid is Anthony Davidson, followed by Daniil who starts in 20th. And on the back row of the grid, it's Marco Andretti and Alexander Rossi after retiring yesterday. And that is the grid for race 2 here at Imola. So there is the grid then, guys, for race 2. And the weather, will it be wet like yesterday? And it isn't. It's going to be bright and sunny for today's race. So dry conditions for race 2, unlike yesterday when it was bucketed it down with rain. So leave your predictions, but without further ado, let's get to race 2 here at Imola. So, here we are then on the grid then. It's Heidfeld on the right of your screens, Kubica on the left, who's going to get the lead into turn 1 as we wait for the 5 red lights to go off to signify the start of race number 2 here at Imola. 2 lights are on, 3 lights are on, 4 lights are on, 5 lights are on. And it is going for race 2 here at Imola. It seems to be a good start from who's got a better start. In fact, it looks like Heidfeld might just have the edge on Kubica as they go down towards turn 1. Kubica though trying to go side by side with him as they all stream down towards the first 3 corners on the track then. Who's going to get lead into turn 1? Kubica trying to hang it around the outside. Can he grab the lead from Heidfeld then as they go around the first few turns? And he does so. Kubica leads as everybody's got through the first 3 turns. Okay, we haven't seen any major incidents at that first corner yet this weekend. A good start from Kubica. Look at the Grassi round the outside of Heidfeld. And he gets the place up into second place. Goes looking to Grassi. A great start from Habsburg to get to 4th. Button down to 5th. Kvyat and Aitken gain a place at the start. Elation in 8th place. Who bear 9th. Felipe Nasr drops down to 10th. A terrible start from him from 5th on the grid as they all make their way around the left-hander. Everybody's got through okay. Looks like Fawako is bringing up the rear of the field. But as you can see, Kubica lead, but he's got de Grassi all over him. De Grassi tried to have a look to the inside, but Kubica covered him off, and Kubica holds on to the lead as meantime now then Habsburg starting to attack Heidfeld. De Grassi looks to the inside to Aquamillarali. Doesn't work out. Same for Habsburg. Couldn't quite get the move stick on Heidfeld as a pair of them come up to the back of De Grassi. Button now up to that battle as well. As it seems that a lot of people are stuck behind. Well, I say that. Buemi up to 12th. Power up to 13th. Newgarden up to 14th. As it seems that a lot of them got stuck behind the Buemi there. Looks like the Buemi's got an issue. He's lost a little bit of rear wing. So something's happened to him at the start. It's Nico Kari that's got the issue. And, well, we're unable to see what on earth happened there. But he's lost a little bit of rear wing. So he's going to have to make a trip to the pits to get that repaired. No wonder there's gaps going on through the field. Everybody got stuck behind Kari. He's trundling back to the pits without the top of the rear wing on his car as everybody gets through him now. So Kari now down to last. In fact, it looks like Fawako might have made contact because Fawako has lost the right hand side half of his front wing there, so these two must have got together, but we're unable to see who caused the incident, so no investigations there, but a pair of them will have to make a trip to the pits this time by as Kubica now has a big gap in front as he finishes lap 1 of 12 then. Kubica leads, Grassi second, followed by Heidfeld third, Habsburg fourth, Button fifth, and Aitken rounds out the top 6 as Heidfeld looks to the outside of Lucas Grassi. Can he try and retake second place from the Brazilians? Head down towards turn 1. In fact, Habsburg has a go at Heidfeld, Daniil inside, but Heidfeld shuts the door and holds on to third place for the moment now. Then Button trying to have a go at Habsburg if he can. Kvyat stuck behind Aitken, as is Elation and Hubert, as they all make their way down towards the Willows chicane. Kubica's got a big lead in front. Heidfeld still stuck behind Grassi. Through towards the second part we go now. Then Habsburg having to do some defending as Kari's into the pits, and I wouldn't be surprised if Apti's in as well in the American engineer. Sorry, Fuoco, and yeah, Fuoco's in to pair them into the pits. Fuoco to get a new front wing, and Kari a new rear wing. As now down towards up towards Piratella we go. Grassi goes defensive. Heidfeld doesn't go for a move into that corner there. Then Aitken goes defensive because he can feel the pressure from Kvyat behind. Down towards Aquamilarali. Heidfeld remains single file as Kvyat has a look at Aitken, but Aitken shuts the door, and Elation now on the back of his fellow compatriot as he fights it out for 7th place, and also Hubert getting involved into the mix as well. Grassi goes defensive in case Heidfeld tries to pop down into the chicane. All of this is allowing Kubica to get further ahead in front. And Habsburg just trying to look for any mistake if he can pounce upon. Same with Button as well. Looks like Aitken starting to close up now. Now he's got a little bit of a gap in for the Kvyat at this stage. As they now make their way down through Rivatsa. Aitken getting close to the backside of his fellow compatriot, Jenson Button. But having saying that, the 3 guys behind the side to close up as out goes Sébastien Buemi. What's happened to Buemi? And oh my goodness me, a huge crash down the chicane. Looks like Buemi's gone to the side. Looks like Power got involved in that. In fact, a few cars might have done as well. And he rolled the car over, or was it just on its side? We'll have to wait and see. And wow, a huge accident, and yeah, he rolled over, contact with Will Power, and it looked like Power went for a similar move like Newgarden did yesterday, but a similar sort of thing. It's kind of one lane down into that chicane, so that will have to be investigated for sure, the incident between Power and Buemi there then. And yeah, it looks like just a similar move that Newgarden tried to pull yesterday, but it fell off. That was deemed a racing incident yesterday from the steward, so we will wait and see whether this one will be the same, as this incident between Buemi and Power will be under investigation. A huge crash for Buemi. I hope he's okay from that. A rollover from the Swiss driver, but only one roll. It wasn't like multiple rolls that we saw from Ocon a few weeks ago at Magny-Cours, as meantime Kubica started lap 3 of 12. In fact, he set the fastest lap now. There's 10 laps remaining, 1:34.399. Will Heidfeld try and get a run on Grassi? He looks a little bit too far back. Same with Habsburg on Heidfeld. Grassi still goes defensive into turn 1 just in case, but he holds on to second without a doubt there. Then looks like Kvyat starting to pull a gap onto Elation again. Elation busy trying to fend off from Hubert as they fight it out for 8th place now. Then as they make their way down towards the Villeneuve chicane. Round we go now then before approaching the left-hander. Kubica still leading the way at this stage as they come out of the left-hander now then. Up the hill we go towards the left-hander at Piratella. As Heidfeld now then will try and find a way through on Lucas Grassi. As they now go in towards Piratella. Grassi went very defensive into that left-hander. Heidfeld didn't try a pop down into there. As they go down the hill, Heidfeld looking into Aquamilarali. Grassi cuts him off. Habsburg wasn't able to take full advantage. Will he try into the chicane perhaps to try and do a pop into there? As they go up the hill towards the chicane now, then Habsburg piling the pressure on Heidfeld. Heidfeld goes defensive. Habsburg doesn't try and pull a move off and remains single file into the chicane. Aitken giving Button grief. Elation went defensive there because Hubert was still giving him aggro behind him at this stage. So that's that for him really, for Wacko and Kari trying to make their way up through the field at this stage. As we look at Kubica, who's just coming out of Rivatsa 2. Grassi's now got a bit of a gap in front of Heidfeld now then, so he can try and get away a little bit. Heidfeld now left to defend from championship contender Ferdinand Habsburg. At the moment, if it stays like this, the gap between Habsburg and Newgarden will be down to 3 points between them. As coming into, sorry, 2 points between them. As coming into this race, there were 5 points between Habsburg and Newgarden. As they come down the pit straight now, then it could be 1 point if Habsburg finds a way through on Heidfeld, because down the inside he goes. Aitken looking to the inside of Button, down the inside. Heidfeld closes the door, same with Button on Aitken. Now Kvyat's on that scrap as well. Aitken now finding himself in a Pennzoil Grand Prix sandwich as they now go down towards the Villeneuve chicane. As nowhere near this stage, I couldn't quite see who set the fastest lap that time around. Nasr had to go at Vinio there, but Vinio holds on to 10th place for the moment. Ferrucci down the inside of Kvyat, wasn't able to make the move stick. Andretti had a look at Apt, wasn't able to grab 15th from him there then. Rossi down in 21st, down in 16th for the moment, not really making that much progress after starting in last after he was involved, after he had his transmission problem yesterday. Up the hill goes Kubica, Grassi trying to hunt him down as Habsburg had a go into Aquamilarali, couldn't quite make the move stick. Same with Aitken on Button, wasn't able to make the move stick. Now Button fancies his chances on Habsburg in front, trying to grab 4 from the Austrian, as meantime Kvyat piling the pressure on Aitken. Some more defensive driving being done from 3 battles going on behind at this stage. Coming off the chicane now, then heading down towards Ravazza. As meantime now then Hubert still stuck behind Alation. Alation doing a good job defensively to keep him back. Same with Vinio on Nasr. Down towards Ravazza 1. Habsburg went defensive, felt the pressure from Button behind. Through towards Ravazza 2, coming off the corner as they now approach the final chicane. And will Button try and launch a move onto Habsburg if he can? Heidfeld with a gap now, trying to close back up to Grassi if he can for 2nd place. As meantime now then will Button try a lunge on Habsburg, looks a little bit too far back. Meantime Kvyat piling the pressure on Aitken, looks to the outside, down the pit straight now, then has to tuck back in his slipstream and doesn't get the run he wants. And Button, as predicted, was too far back to challenge Habsburg into the first corner there. The pair of them starting to close back up though to Heidfeld, so it could be a 3-way scrap for 3rd. If it continues this way, as Kvyat has a go at the Willows chicane on Aitken, tried to do a similar move that he did to Kubica yesterday, but it was wet yesterday, and because it's dry, Kvyat unable to pull it off today on Aitken. As now through towards the hairpin we go. As now Newgarden's caught up to this scrap between Nasr and Vinio, so it's become a 3-way scrap for 10th. At the moment, up the hill we go now, then Button too far back to get Habsburg, despite that Habsburg went defensive. Aitken goes defensive. Kvyat didn't even think about flicking it to the inside, as now Alation and Hubert catch up to this battle. Kvyat again looking to the inside of Aitken. Aitken shuts the door into Aquamilarali, and Alation and Hubert right onto him now then. As going up towards the chicane we go, the pair of them, both Habsburg and Button, getting close to the back of Heidfeld again as they look to try and get the podium place off him now then. So meantime Kvyat went defensive as Alation maybe tried to go for a pop down the inside, didn't quite work out. Looked like Alation had to back off a little bit there as Kvyat was trying to make the corner, and now that could put him on easy prey for Antoine Hubert behind as Vinio has left. In fact, unseen by the cameras, Newgarden's up to 11th. He's past Nasr, so up to 11th place goes Josef Newgarden as Vinio has got away from those two as he tries to close up to Alation and Hubert as he tries to get up to 8th place himself. Through the chicane we go. Kvyat starting to drop back into the clutches of these two. Down the straight we go. Button losing time to Habsburg as he continues to try and close up onto Heidfeld if he can. Kubica meantime continuing to have a good lead in front of Lucas de Grassi. De Grassi nowhere near him at this stage, about the halfway stage of the race. We're on lap 6 of 12 now then here for race 2 at Imola. And Kubica trying to look for his and KR Racing's first victory in IFMC GP3. He failed to do it yesterday. He's looking for a redemption today if he can as they go up the hill towards Piratella. As Habsburg pulling away again from Button as they go up towards Piratella now then on the track. Habsburg now then, I'll be interested to see what the gap is like in a little bit between him and Heidfeld as they both make their way round Piratella for the 6th time today. Down towards Aquamilarali as Aitken's getting back on the prowl of Jenson Button for P5, so those two look like they're going to resume their battle from a little earlier on as Aitken wants to grab 5th from his fellow compatriot. In towards the chicane we go, and Habsburg now then looking for a weakness point from Heidfeld as they make their way down towards the 2 Ravazza corners, and then they'll head down towards Ravazza 1. Habsburg now then still trying to see where Heidfeld's weak point is. Down through Ravazza 1 and then into Ravazza 2 we will go, coming off the turn as they make their way in towards the last 2 corners on the track now then. Will Habsburg try and find a way through on Nick Heidfeld? Well, at the moment he can't, he's a little bit too far back to challenge, but let's see what the gap is like anyway between the pair of them as we're into the second half of the race, heading down towards the first 3 turns on the track. And the gap between Heidfeld and Habsburg this time by, as I go through turns 1, 2 and 3, is 0.9 seconds, so it is under a second between Heidfeld and Habsburg at this stage of the race as they come off of turn 3 and then down towards the Villeneuve chicane as they flick their way through the left and right hander they go. Habsburg using all the curb on the outside before approaching the left hander, and Heidfeld trying everything he can to shake off Habsburg, but Habsburg's still sticking with him. Aitken now getting close to the gearbox of Button, as Kvyat's pulled a bit of a gap now on Elation, so he's able to try and push on and try and gain onto Aitken and his teammate Button, down towards the 2 Aquaminerali corners, through Aquaminerali 1, and then into Aquaminerali 2 we go, and then into towards the chicane we will approach now then. So Habsburg tries to find a way through on Heidfeld. Meantime, Aitken all over the backside of Button. Button goes defensive into the chicane, feels the pressure from his fellow compatriot. As it looks like Elation's now pulled a gap onto Hubert, so Hubert starting to lose time to Mikhail as a result. As Aitken had a go down the hill, but Button covers him off as they both make their way down towards the 2 Ravazza corners. And coming off of Ravazza 2, Button still getting away a little bit from Aitken as they now approach the final 3 corners on the track. And will Aitken find a way through on Jenson Button through the chicane, and then down the pit straight we go before approaching the final 3 turns on the track. Will Aitken get the move done on Jenson Button now as they go down towards turn 1? Aitken looks to the inside. Will he get the move done down the inside? And Button covers him off, but Button took a wider line into that corner. And Aitken doing whatever he can to get the move done on Button. He looks to the inside into the Villeneuve chicane. Has he got the move done? No, again Button covers him off. Maybe Aitken could try and move down into Piratella, or up into Piratella I should say. Button goes defensive into the hairpin. Kvyat's now getting closer to this scrap for 5th place, up towards Piratella. We will now go on the track. And will Aitken pull the move off into Piratella? He's going to go to the inside. Will Aitken get the move done on Button down the inside? And he does. Up into 5th place goes Jack Aitken. He gets the move done on Button, and now Button under pressure from Kvyat. Kvyat looks to the inside into Aquaminerali, but Button covers him off and holds on to 6th place. Elation closes up a little bit, but still not within the slipstream of his fellow compatriot. Looks like Hubert might be closing back into the clutches of Elation, so these 2 could rekindle their scrap for 8th place at the moment. There's unseen by the cameras. Newgarden's up to 10th. He's past Vinio, so into the top 10 goes Josef Newgarden as he tries to chase down Antoine Hubert. As Nasr goes defensive as Ferrucci's giving him grief now then. Abt getting close as well to that scrap, as Power's making his way up through the field. He's now on the back of Marco Andretti. As for Watko and Kari not up to the pack themselves. 4 laps remaining for Robert Kubica. He's now on lap 9 of 12, so 4 to go in this race as they go down towards the first 3 corners on the track, through the left, then the right, and then into turn 3 we will go. And Kubica looking good at the moment to get his and the team's first ever IFMC GP3 victory. In towards the Villeneuve chicane we go. And Kubica now then will approach the left-hander on the track. And around this left-hander he goes, as he will go up the hill towards Piratella. And as you can see, Kubica currently leading the race. Grassi still within touching distance, but nowhere near him at this stage, as they both go around Piratella now there for the 9th time today. Meantime, Habsburg all over the backside of Heidfeld, looking to try and grab third from him if he can. Meantime, Button going defensive as Kvyat's giving him grief, his teammate. They both go around Piratella, and Habsburg doesn't go for the move into Aquaminerali. He's going to remain single file. Maybe can he try and punch a move down into the chicane now then, as they continue to scrap for 3rd place. Into the chicane we go. Habsburg thought about it, but Heidfeld covers the inside and holds on to 3rd for the moment as they come off the chicane down towards Ravazza 1 and 2. We will go on the track. Will Habsburg try and get a move done into Ravazza? Down towards Ravazza we go, and he's not close enough to get the move that time by. It does look like that the Grassi is starting to gain a little bit onto Kubica, but whether we have enough time to gain onto him or not, it will remain to be seen as they now approach the final chicane. Will Habsburg get the move done on Heidfeld? Into the first corner now. Round the chicane we go. Kvyat's dropped back a bit from Button as a result of having to back off because Button closed the door on him into the first part of Aquaminerali. Down the straight we go. Will Habsburg get the move done on Heidfeld? He looks to the inside of the German. Can he get the move done into turn 1? Down the inside, and again Heidfeld shutting the door there on Habsburg. And Habsburg will have to find a corner. Where he'll probably get him. Probably up towards Piratella is probably his best bet. He'll probably try and go for. Into the Villeneuve chicane we go now then. Up towards the left-hander. Heidfeld doesn't go defensive as they go single file up the hill. Round the left-hander they go, then up the hill towards Piratella they will go. And will Habsburg try and get the move done into Heidfeld onto Piratella now? Then Heidfeld goes defensive. Habsburg thought about it, and a little bit of contact between Heidfeld and Habsburg. And Habsburg had to correct himself a little bit there. It looked like Habsburg just went for a last minute move, but luckily none of them get taken out and remain in the positions. But now that brings Aitken closer now to that scrap for third place. As meantime, Kvyat back on the prowl of Button. Looks like Elation's getting close as well. As Newgarden's all over the backside of Hubert, looking to try and grab ninth place from the Frenchman. Down towards the chicane we go. Hubert goes defensive, and Newgarden has to stay behind as they go around the chicane now. Then down towards the two Lavazza corners we will go. As Newgarden looks to the outside now. Then, but as you can see, Hubert covers him off as they go down towards Lavazza. Meantime, Kubica has started his penultimate lap of the race. Meantime, back to this battle for third between Heidfeld and Habsburg. Habsburg not close enough to try and put a pounce on him into the first corner, so has to stay behind and try and get back onto him in these remaining few miles of the race now. Then as I go down towards the first three turns, so Kvyat's not close enough to try and put the prowl on Button into the first three corners. Meantime, Danny inside goes Newgarden on Hubert. Will he get the move done? No, Hubert shuts the door into the first corner and holds on to ninth place as they go through turn 3 now. Then down towards the Villeneuve chicane. And Newgarden staying single file. Well, he has a go into the Villeneuve chicane, but Hubert closes the door into that corner to hold on to ninth place at the moment as they make their way down towards the left, well, up towards the left-hander. And they'll soon make their way into Piratella. Meantime, now the Kvyat piling the pressure on Button, but not close enough as Hubert, as Habsburg's back on the prowl of Heidfeld, sorry. Down towards Aquamilarali. As meantime, Danny inside goes Newgarden. He had to go at Habsburg, but Habsburg hangs at around the outside and holds on to ninth place for the moment. Newgarden still stuck behind him at this stage as we've got 1.5 laps remaining. Around about that point anyway, Button goes defensive as Kvyat trying to get the final points place off his teammate now then. As Habsburg now then back on the fight with Heidfeld now then as they go down towards Vatsa. Had a look to the outside, but Heidfeld covered him off as they go down towards Vatsa now then for the penultimate time. Meantime, here's Robert Kubica, who's coming up towards the final two corners, and Robert Kubica is about to start his final lap here at race 2 here at Imola. It's been a perfect race for Kubica. He started in second place, was able to get the jump on Heidfeld at the start, and was just able to build a gap in front. And if he could just keep this up, he will get his and the team's first ever IFMC GP3 victory and get redemption after missing out yesterday. Meantime, Habsburg down the inside of Heidfeld couldn't get the move done as Habsburg goes off the track. He went a little bit deep there and now puts in play to Aitken. That's surely it now. Heidfeld has got that podium place as Habsburg's ran deep into the first corner, and well, that's that really. Aitken looking to try and grab fourth for him by the end as Kvyat now then all over the prowl of Button trying to grab sixth from his own teammate through the left. And there we go. Can Kvyat try and find a way through on Jenson? Button up towards Piratella. In fact, will Aitken try and move on Habsburg? Looks like he's not close enough to get him into Piratella. Habsburg still got defensive just in case. Kvyat down the inside of his own teammate. They side by side through Piratella. Button tries to hang it around the outside, which he does. Button just able to hold on to 6th place. Aitken had a go at Habsburg into Aquamilarali, but Habsburg holds on, shuts the door, and keeps hold of 4th place for the moment. And I think Habsburg will do enough to hold on to 4th from Jack Aitken. And if Button could just hold on, he'll hold on to 6th from his teammate. He defends into the chicane to hold on to 6th for the time being. Kvyat's possible last chance is either into Ravazza or into the final chicane. Meantime, here's Robert Kubica. He's just coming up now towards the final few corners, and after missing out yesterday, he's going to get redemption round the final corner, and it is going to be Robert Kubica who wins race 2 here at Imola. Congratulations to him and the KR Racing team. He takes his and KR Racing's first ever IFMC GP3 victory, and it's been a long time coming for the pole. Lucas de Grassi crosses the line in 2nd, Heidfeld crosses the line in 3rd, Habsburg 4th, Aitken 5th, Button just holds on to the points in 6th, Kvyat 7th, Elation in 8th, Newgarden takes 9th. He got Hubert in the end, so he gets 9th. Hubert 10th, Vinio 11th, Ferrucci 12th, Nasr will cross the line in 13th. Ferrucci got him earlier, Apt close behind in 14th, Kaiser 15th, Rossi could only manage 16th, Power only 17th, another non-points weekend for the Aussie, Andretti 18th, and Davidson 19th. For Wacko will cross the line 20th, followed by Kari in 21st, with Buemi being the only retirement thanks to having a crash with Will Power, that incident being investigated after the race, of course. So, into the final chicane we go, and Fawako will cross the line in 20th position, followed by Kari, who will finish in 21st position. They cross the line now then. And there you have it then. In the end, Robert Kubica takes his and KR Racing's first ever IFMC GP3 victory. A long time coming for the pole, but a fully deserved victory and redemption after missing out yesterday. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the results of race 2 here at Imola. Robert Kubica won the race with Lucas de Grassi second, Nick Heidfeld third, Ferdinand Habsburg fourth, Jack Aitken fifth, Jenson Button sixth, Daniil Kvyat seventh, Michael Alation eighth, Josef Newgarden ninth, Antonio Berin 10th, Aero Vinio 11th, Santino Ferrucci 12th, Felipe Nasr 13th, Daniil Aptin 14th. And if we scroll down the rest of the field, it is Kyle Kaiser 15th, Alexander Rossi 16th, Will Power in 17th, Marco Andretti in 18th, Anthony Davidson 19th, Antonio Fawako 20th, Nico Kari the last of the finishers in 21st, and Sébastien Buemi being the only retirement of the race thanks to flipping over at the chicane. So let's see who set the fastest lap of the race then, who's going away with the bonus point, and it was Josef Newgarden with a 1 minute 34.103. So the gap between Habsburg and Newgarden in the Drivers' Championship is now down to just 3 points, as Newgarden gets another fastest lap today, a bonus point for him. He was 2 tenths quicker than eventual race winner Robert Kubica. So there you have it then, guys. That has been it for GP3 this weekend. GP3 will be back next weekend at Monza, but stick around now, guys, because coming up next is the sprint race for IFMC GP2, which sees Sean Galayo on pole position and Sergei Sirotkin, and I believe in third place will be trying to think on top of my head, it will be Nick de Vries. So if you want to go and grab a quick drink, you can. The podium for GP3 is coming your way just after this. But until then, I've been JWF1. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Enjoy the GP3 podium.